Alrighty, fellas. So some of y'all were asking me to record a Makoto clear for level 30 Shiva and Parv. Don't worry, I got you. It's a little bit of a scuffed run, but it'll give you a good idea of how this run will work if you do run the Makoto team. So let's go ahead and get started and explain to y'all the fight mechanics. Alright, so Shiva, all he really does is he just does a bunch of AoE attacks, and he has follow-ups as well. They do a lot of damage. And Parvati is basically the enemy sustain / healer. She'll proc a thing called a key barrier. And how do you get rid of that key barrier? Well, you use an almighty move with an almighty persona. That's all there is to it. So let's go ahead and talk about phase 1. Phase 1, you want to kill off Parvati first. Her key shield is kind of annoying, and her healing is kind of annoying. The more you prolong that, the longer this fight will be. And then you want to kill Shiva last on phase 1. Phase 2, you want to kill Shiva first and then leave Parvati last so that she turns into Kali. And who is Kali? Well, Kali's pretty much a stinker. She really does nothing. She doesn't hit hard. She doesn't heal. She doesn't have any stupid damage reduction mechanics. Nothing. Once you kill Shiva, Parvati transforms into Kali in phase 2, and Kali is like free real estate. Okay? Alright, well, that's really all you need to know. Let's go ahead and talk about rev cards, shall we? Alrighty, fellas, so here's the team. Makoto's going to be your main DPS. Vino's going to be your main debuffer. Marion's going to be your main healer / support, depending on what awareness you have or what weapon you have for her. Futaba is going to be your main navigator. Let's talk about replacements. Let's say, for example, you don't have Minami. You can run something like Soy. Soy is a pretty good debuffer and like a pseudo tanky sustain taunter. He's really good. The only problem with Soy is that in phase 2, he heals for like nothing. So you're susceptible to death. But if you can one-shot Shiva or two-shot Shiva before he touches you or kills you, then running Soy would probably be equivalent to running Minami, right? Depending on awareness. But yeah, Soy's pretty good. Luful is pretty good as well. You can just run him as a dedicated healer. He'll replace Minami. And then Morgana is also fine as well. You know, his revive can come in handy if you for some reason get one shot randomly by like Shiva, because he does down Makoto and Vino here, or my bad, not Shiva, Parv. Parv can down one of these two, and so you know if she accidentally kills one, you can heal up with Morgana, or not heal, revive. Yeah. You can also run Cherish here too if you have Cherish. Cherish is like probably the best option here. But typically, this is what I usually run. That or Soy on this team. So, let's go ahead and show you rev cards. Alright, so with rev cards here, Makoto is going to want the Nuke DPS set. That's going to be Awareness and Truth. Now, Vino is going to want the Defense Shred set. That's going to be Departure and Control. Futaba, you're going to run the typical Navi set, Resolve and Labor. And lastly, on Minami, you're going to want the Highlight Boost / damage increase party-wide set. It's going to be Trust and Prosperity. It's really good. It's good for Minami here. And now let's go ahead and talk about Wonder Personas and his dagger. So I'm going to go ahead and use Ex Machina here because, you know, a lot of people probably have that maxed, you know, to be like an accurate representation. For Personas, Bishamonten is without a question a must here. Yeah, you're going to mainly use Imperial Purge for him. Next is Vishnu. The reason why I'm using Vishnu here is he has Megi, so it'll help quell Parvati's key shield, or key barrier in this case. His Wind of Nirvana is also really good too. It can deal Windswept. And let's say, for example, you don't have access to those, Vishnu. You could run something like Lilim. She's also a pretty good almighty persona that has Megi. Horus is also another good substitution as well, if you're lacking both. And lastly, there is one persona that's kind of important to this run. Sandalphon. I'll be using Sandalphon in phase 2 mainly as like a shield procer persona, mainly for his highlight shield proc. You can also use the skill 1, Devoted Guard. Also increases like damage to like a party member you select, and it gives you a shield. So it's up to you. I mainly just use them for his highlight. But if you want to play it risky, you can also use someone like Dionysus here. Make sure you inherit Rebellion. you're probably asking me like, why not Dominion instead? He has cohesion, da da da. So the thing about cohesion is that its buff duration is a lot shorter, like about it's only 1 turn, right? But Rebellion here is 3 turns, and there is 1 turn in the fight where Parvati just procs the key barrier, and you can't really buff the whole squad with that. And it's good to have Rebellion on hand there because it has a longer duration, and you don't have to worry about buffing during that turn. So there you go. That's what personas you're gonna run. But other than that, let's go ahead and show you the fight, shall we? Alrighty, boys. So sorry for the scuffed recording. I wanted to kind of see how my phone would perform with this game. Yeah, it looks pretty good, but let's go ahead and talk about the fight. So usually on these off rotations, you want to use Wind of Nirvana. Right, it's a good debuff, right? It gives Windswept. It's a defense debuff. And for Vino, you're typically just gonna want to spam skill 1 and skill 3 and pray that you inflict as many ailments as you can possible. Manami, you don't have to play super optimally. As long as you heal up the party, right? You could hoard skill 3 for diagnostic stacks if you want to. Right? Nothing wrong with hoarding some SP and whatnot. But with Makoto, her gameplay is pretty simple. Right? Skill 1 to inflict the ailments. And then once you get Crash Out, just, use skill 3 for both turns of Crash Out. And make sure you pay attention to my Futaba rotations if you can. Because it is very important that you have Weakness Implant on timeline with Makoto Crash Out. But other than that, just remember to use Meggy whenever she procs the key barrier. And, debuff with Vino. Skill 3 Crash Out when you have Makoto. Alright. Other than that, I'll talk to y'all in a bit. So you guys probably asked me where you should use Bishamonten. Well, we usually use it on Makoto's second high Crash Out turn because it gives like a nuke amp and a crit rate amp, and it boosts like every single nuke ally on the team. So that's where you usually want to use it. All right, talk to y'all in a sec.
番だな。パスワード解除。
ペルソナサンダルフォン毘沙門天リシュヌこれでどうだ。
いい一撃だ。
アンペロスペルソナデュオ。
誰か助けて。お願いタレイヤ来て。ペルソナデュオ。ありがとうね。チャージ完了だ。倍返しするからぶっ放せ。速攻でやりましょう。行くわよヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。苦痛です。出た。ごめんね。大丈夫だ。誰かフォローを。どうですかどうですか。支援準備完了だ。ミッシッシー私の出番だな。誰か助けて。バトルデータ解析。どれどれ。
ペルソナいただいていく。
苦痛です。
アンペロスやれよペルソナデュオ。
苦痛です。私はまだいける。お願いタレイヤ来て。苦痛です。ありがとうね。倍返しするから行くわよヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。
礼儀がなってないね。ペルソナいただいていく。
苦痛です。いい一撃だ。
かますよアンペロスペルソナデュオ。
誰か助けて。お願いタレイヤ倒れさせない。ありがとうね。力よ。誰か助けて。倍返しするから。
Okay, so let's talk highlights real quick. So the thing about highlights, especially Makoto's highlight, you want to have Makoto highlight timed with Futaba's weakness implant in phase 2. So you can use Makoto's highlight about a total of 2 times on phase 1 before you should probably be hoarding Makoto's highlight for phase 2, I would say. Because you don't want to be left in a situation where in phase 2 you don't have Makoto's highlight like on standby, because if you don't, you do less damage, and there's more turns for Shiva to do damage against you. So with Vino's highlight, you kind of want to use it on Makoto's like second crash out turn, so that she can regain all 4 elements, so that she can do more damage with crash out S3. So that's usually how I play Vino's highlight. Marion's highlight is kind of iffy. You want to use it whenever Marion's kind of low on SP. You can use it in phase 1 or phase 2. It's fine. But for me, I didn't really use it all too much, right? Because, like, Makoto's highlight is important. Vino's highlight is very important. Like, even Wonder. Wonder with, the reason why I bought Wonder was to just use Sandalphon, right? Sandalphon highlight. So I can have 1 turn to stall, right, with Marion, so I could guard with Marion and regain SP. But you'll see what I mean once we hit phase 2. And just another reminder, pay attention to my Futaba rotations this video, okay? Alright, talk to you in a sec.
私の出番だな。バトルデータ解析。どれどれ。
小細工なんて通じないよ。来いアンペロス。ペルソナ毘沙門天これでどうだ。アンペロスペルソナデュオ。
いい一撃だ。手伝ってタレイヤ。倍返しするからかけろヨハンナ。
ペルソナリシュヌこれでどうだまだアンペロスやるよペルソナデュオ
大技発動チャンス治療の時間ねタレイヤ来てペルソナデュオ
助かるよ
かけろよやるわよペルソナ
So notice since Shiva is dying, I'm hoarding my highlights. Well, there's a good reason why. It's so that I can mainly get my buffs on timeline with Futaba's weakness implant as soon as we hit phase 2. That's why I'm hoarding highlights at the moment. And here, same thing with Futaba. Like, don't even bother using Futaba here. Wait till we hit phase 2. Like, Shiva's almost dead. Just time everything so that you can do as much damage as you can in those first 2 turns of phase 2. Alright, talk to you in a sec.
ペルソナデュオ好きだらけさ
支援準備完了だ私に任せろ手伝ってタレイヤ苦痛ですペルソナデュオありがとうね倍返しするから
Notice that I'm hoarding Crash Out as well too. Because if we Crash Out here, we're basically going to be wasting a turn once we hit into phase 2. Because if you're in Crash Out on the first turn of phase 2, well, you're going to be off Futaba timeline. Right? Your goal is to skill 1 with Makoto. Right? To inflict the elements. And then you Crash Out on turn 2 in phase 2 with Futaba's skill 3 active.
まだそこまで置いちゃいないよ
反撃の時間だやるわよペルソナいい一撃だ苦痛です読みやすい味方ピンチだ
Alright, so this is where the rotation matters. So here, you're going to go ahead and Futaba skill 1. Okay? And now, for the highlights, I've been waiting for this, by the way. You're going to go ahead and Vino highlight. Okay? You're going to do it onto Shiva. Okay? Now, here, you're going to go ahead and skill 1 with Vishnu. So, to inflict the Windswept. Alright. Vino's going to go ahead and skill 3. And then with Marion, you just do whatever. Heal. Okay? If you have A1 and you heal, you get a attack buff from it. Right? In this case, I went ahead and guard since everyone was basically already full HP. Makoto is going to go ahead and crash out here. Since, well, not crash out. Skill 1, sorry. Right? He's going to go ahead and skill 1 here. And then next turn, we get access to Makoto's highlight. Right? The turn where we do big PP damage. Right? With Futaba and Makoto on timeline. Okay? So, there's key barrier. So unfortunately here, we're going to have to use Megi. But here we go. Futaba, go ahead and skill 3 onto Makoto. So that the enemies can get the weakness implant. Here, go ahead and Megi. And then there you go. The affinity should be averted. Nice. Vino is going to go ahead and skill 1 to inflict even more shred and ailments. And then just Marion here, you can do 2 things. You can use skill 3 or use skill 2 if you want to hoard. So in this case, I chose to hoard. Alright, so just use skill 2. And now it's time. Go ahead and crash out. Alright, and now you highlight with the crash out. Now, this isn't going to one-shot him, but it should do a crazy amount of damage to him. Okay? Now go ahead and skill 3. And then the next turn, just use Wonder, Bishamonten skill 1. And then have Vino apply her ailments again, and then you just crash out skill 3 Makoto. Alright, talk to you in a bit.
こっちの能力下げられてる気をつけて
サンダルフォン飛車モンテン
私も忙しいんですけど
これでどうだ
敵ダウンい
もう一撃くれてやるさ。アンペロスペルソナデュオ。
味方ピンチだ。治療の時間ね。タレイヤ倒れさせない。ありがとうね。癒しの力よ。倍返しするからヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。さあ対応だ。
笑いちゃない。
どうですか。行きますよ。大丈夫だから。どうですか。こっちの能力下げられてる。気をつけて。よしし。私のでパスワード解除。
ペルソナリシュヌ。サンダルフォンやめよう。
Okay, so here, this is where I went ahead and used Sandalphon highlight, so I can have a turn for Marion to regain her diagnostic stacks, because as you can tell, we're out, and my god, am I in a very, like, pickle situation right now. So, there you have it. That's why you bring Sandalphon here, you know, the shield highlight helps out a lot, right?
アンペロスやれよペルソナデュオ。
味方ピンチだ。お願い。タレイヤ来て。ペルソナデュオ。ありがとうね。倍返しするか。かけろヨハンナ。やるわよペルソナ。いい一撃だ。なんとか返しないで。大丈夫だから。どうですか。なんとか返しないで。行きますよ。どうですか。よし、ここから反撃だ。よしし。私の出番だな。バトルデータ解析。どれどれ。
ペルソナサンダルフォン毘沙門天受けてみろ。おいでアンペロスペルソナデュオ。
大技発動チャンス。手伝ってタレイヤ。倒れさせない。
助かるよ。
癒しの力よ。倍返しするから。戦線復帰。反撃の時間だ。速攻でやりましょう。
小細工なんて通じないよ。来いアンペロス。
行くわよヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。行きます。
And there you go. If you have prevailed and killed Shiva, it's free real estate time. Just whatever you do, don't forget that key barrier still exists and not Meggy. In this case, I misclicked and that was supposed to be Meggy there, but it happens. But yeah, congrats on getting to Kali. If you've gotten here, well, you're free, man. You know, the pain and misery was all worth it. Well, anyways, I'll talk to you at the end of this video. See you in a bit.
無理は禁物よペルソナ。どうだいやるよ。ちょっとこっちの能力下げられ。無視し私のパスワード解除。
ペルソナ受けてみろ。
チャージ完了だ。ぶっ放せ。
よあペルソナデュオ。
の出番。バトルデータ解析。どれどれ。
ペルソナサンダルフォン毘沙門天。待てよ。おいでアンペロス、やれよペルソナデュオ。
その服持ってないの？手伝ってタレイが。倒れさせない。ありがとうね。癒しの力よ。速攻でやりましょう。これで決める。フルスロットル。行くわよヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。あーしゅん。いい一撃だ。年がやるよ。おーナイス回避。
ペルソナこれでどうだ。おいでアンペロスペルソナデュオ。
治療の時間ね。ペルソナデュオ。行くわよヨハンナ。ここはペルソナ。オッケー、先を急ごう。
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And I'm sorry if I was a little bit late on this video. I've been kind of busy this whole entire week. Work's been kicking my butt, y'all. But, I'm still hanging in there. And, I'm glad I'm able to come back to making content this week. Because, man, you don't want to know how hard I've been craving to make this video, y'all. And I do have a lot of other future videos planned. Like a Florette showcase against, figure skater Mont. Some SOS guides. And, like, the boss guide for level 5 of the event boss for Mont's event. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for all the support on the previous video on the Shiva and Parv clear with Ryuji. Really meant a lot, all those positive comments I got. And yeah, I'll keep making these videos. Until next time, deuces, y'all.